Hello, I'm Courtney, and today I'm doing my last Heroes Olympus reread discussion, and I'm going to be talking about The Blood of Olympus by Riordan. This is the fifth and final book in the Heroes of Olympus series, and boy oh boy was this book a wild ride. This was the only book I was terrified to reread just because I have not read it since 2014 when it came out, and my feelings on it have changed so much since then, so I was just really scared to reread it and see how I would feel, and I have a lot of feelings about it. But since this is the final book in the series, if you have not read Blood of Olympus yet, you do not want to be spoiled, I would leave right now because I'm going to be talking major spoilers, so read the book, come back, and we discuss together. So, bye now, spoiling people! Alrighty, so Blood of Olympus. Gotta take a deep breath, because I got a lot of things to say. So I'm gonna talk about the plot first of this book, because I remembered nothing about the plot of this. I honestly did not like the plot of this book. I thought the Argo the Second stuff especially was just very boring, and what everyone was doing was just dumb and pointless. I was like, alright, what we need to do is like get to Athens here and defeat the giants, but everybody was going on these quests that were just a waste of time, and I was like, come on people, get yourselves together. And then I also didn't like the flow of this book. Like, the beginning was so slow. I thought I was never gonna finish the book, but then I got to the end and everything happened in like 2 seconds, and there just wasn't this constant rhythm. It was just very messy, and I didn't like that. However, one of the things that I didn't like about this book the first time I read it, but I actually liked now, was the point of views of Jason, Leo, and Piper. It honestly really made sense that they were the POVs for everybody on the Argo the Second, because they were going to be the ones to end the war and defeat Gaia. So it honestly made a lot more sense to have them telling the story, and I honestly really liked it too. And we also get 2 new POVs in this book, Niko and Reina, and I loved Niko and Reina in this book. Oh my god, I would actually die for these two. One of the best things about this book is definitely Niko and Reina's friendship, as well as just the 2 of them individually growing and finding who they are and who they want to be in the world. I think Rick did such a great job writing their friendship and their character arcs. It just flowed so well. It was so beautiful, and that was something I really enjoyed while rereading this. It was just so surprising that I enjoyed Niko and Reina more than the Argo the Second, because, you know, the Argo the Second, they're going to Athens, they're trying to defeat the giants, and you know, all my faves are there, like Percy and Annabeth, but it just wasn't as exciting as I remembered. I was definitely more stressed for them and honestly more bored. So going to Niko and Reina, like, yes, they had their own problems, but it was honestly just so nice to be with them and see them become friends and just hang out and get to Camp Half-Blood, and I just loved them so much. Another surprising thing was that I have said in pretty much all of the reviews I've done for the Heroes of Olympus books that I have not been enjoying Piper until now. I can finally say with a whole heart that Piper McLean was so freaking awesome in this book. Piper finally realizes in this book how strong and powerful she is, and that she is not worthless. Like, she's a freaking child of Aphrodite and she can take you down, and I loved seeing her just embrace her new confidence in herself. It was so wonderful seeing her shine and take down all these bad guys and giants and taking down Gaia. I was so freaking proud of her. It's so nice to say positive things about Piper now, because I've hated dissing on her throughout this reread journey, but Piper just wasn't at her truest self. Like, she still had steps to take to finally be who she wants to be and do what she wants to do, but she reaches the top in this book, and it was so wonderful. One bad thing I will say about Piper though is that, don't get me wrong, I really enjoyed her point of view in this book, but I will forever be salty that Percy said I love you in a Piper chapter. Percy telling Annabeth he loves her was obviously my favorite scene in this book, because I waited so long for him to say those 3 words, and when he finally says them in this, it was a God-given miracle, and it made me so happy. But the fact that he said those words and it was a Piper chapter, I'll never forgive Rick about that. That could have just been a single Percy chapter, okay? But Piper was really nice about it. She was like, oh my god, Percy, you're such a great boyfriend, and all was well, so I guess I can deal with it. Speaking of ships, a new ship that arises in this book is Niko and Will, aka Cilantro. It was so interesting to read Niko and Will interact, because for pretty much all the time they spent together in this book, it's very like bickery in a way, and I was like, I had completely forgotten about this. But through all of their bickering, there is definitely romantic tension between them, and I love it when the war is over and Will's like, alright, you did too much, you know, shadow travel and your Hades magic, you gotta go to the infirmary for 3 days. And Niko's like, what? And Will's like, doctor's orders! It was just so nice to see Niko kind of be happy, because he has rarely been happy in his life, but he slowly realizes in this that, hey, you know, maybe Will can make me happy, maybe this can turn into something, and it was just so precious and cute. And now for the grand finale, the last thing I want to talk about is good old Leo Valdez. Rereading Leo's storyline was probably the thing I was most scared of, because when I read this book the first time, I hated Leo Valdez by the end of it, and I hated Leo for a long time, so I didn't really know how I was gonna feel about him rereading this. But now that I have read this again, I can say wholeheartedly that I do not hate Leo Valdez, and I completely understand why he made his decisions and actions in this book. The big thing about Leo in this book is that he wants to sacrifice himself so that somehow he can get back to Ogia and save Calypso. And when I read this the first time, I really hated this plan, because I was like, oh my god, you don't have to sacrifice yourself. Like, there's another way to win this war and to get to her. But rereading all of that now, it made so much sense. The reason why Leo's plan and wanting to sacrifice himself and everything makes so much more sense now is because Leo knew that it was gonna be him. From the moment Nemesis told him in the Mark of Athena that you're gonna be the 7th wheel and you're always gonna be the odd man out, Leo knew that he was gonna be the one to make the final act and destroy Gaia, and that didn't hit me until I reread this. So when it gets to that moment when Piper and Jason are trying to destroy Gaia, I was like, this is it. This is gonna be Leo's final act. And I completely understood why he wanted to do it and why it had to be him, but it still really hurt to see him just explode and disappear, and my heart just ached. But all was well, because Leo makes it to Ogia and reunites with Calypso, and honestly, reading that last chapter was just so nice and sweet, and I was so happy for him, and there was no hate or anger like last time. I was just simply happy for my boy. But I think that's all I had to say for Blood of Olympus. Overall, this book was a wild ride, and although it has many flaws, I still really enjoyed it. I will always love Blood of Olympus just because of the emotions I felt while rereading it and reading it for the first time. This book just brings out so many emotions in me. It made me laugh, it made me cry, it made me smile, and there's just such strong emotions inside this book, and I'll always be thankful to have this in my life. Thank you all so much for watching this review and for watching all of my Heroes of Olympus reviews. It has been so much fun to reread the Heroes of Olympus series, and it's so weird that I don't have like another Heroes of Olympus book to read or like another review to make. Like, I don't know what to do with my life. But seriously, thank you all so much for watching these reviews. I hope you all enjoyed them, and I am Courtney, and I'll see you all next time with a new video soon, so I will see you then. So bye!